My name's Mrs. B and you're here at the Art Life YouTube channel, hopefully to learn a little bit about a special artist and have a go at creating an inspired pastel artwork, just like this one. Now, the artist we're looking at today is Sandra Silberzweig. It's a hard word to say. Hold on. Sandra Silberzweig. Yes, I did look it up. Okay, Sandra Silberzweig is a fantastic female artist from Toronto in Canada, and she has dubbed herself the goddess of colour, and that's because she used such bright, beautiful colours and patterns in her abstract portrait artwork. Now remember, it's important not to copy from an artist or copy the things that you see me do. We're using other artists for inspiration to have a go at creating art for ourselves. So it's really important when you see me do something, maybe have a think about how can I have a go at changing that and doing it a little bit differently. Now this is what mine looks like. I've used some black markers and oil pastels to add colour to this art today. And I was really impressed by my outcome. I really enjoyed it. It was super relaxing and really fun because oil pastels are so lovely to use. So come with me today and I'll show you exactly how to do something like this. Now don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as ring the bell because I have an exciting announcement coming up in a future episode. So today, let's have a bit of a chat about the artist, Sandra Silberzweig. Now, she dubbed herself the goddess of colour. And today, we're going to create a really colourful artwork using beautiful, bright oil pastels. Now, she was very famous for creating abstract portraits. So if an artwork is abstract, that means that it's not overly realistic. So today, don't stress, we are not trying to make a realistic picture. Today, we're going to use colours and patterns to create something really bright and really abstract. Now, a portrait is a picture of a person. So today, we're going to create a portrait. You may choose to make it a self-portrait, so you could draw something that might resemble yourself and your favourite colours or patterns. But today, our main point is to have a go at using colour, patterns, and abstraction to make a portrait in the Sandra Silberzweig style today. So let me talk you through it. Today I'm working on craft card. Now it's a big A3 piece, but you might choose to work a little bit smaller. That's absolutely fine. And if you have just white paper, that is completely fine as well. So Sandra Silberzweig used to create really large, bright pictures of people. Now it wasn't the whole body, it was just focused on the head and the shoulders. Now, whenever she drew with really simplistic lines and shapes. So today we're going to bring it back to basics and just draw really simply. So the first thing I'd like you to do with a grey lead pencil is draw a large U shape from one side of your page to the other. This is while holding your picture in a portrait scape like this. Now, I'd like you to draw a straight line at the top, horizontally, then you're going to go down vertically, and then you're going to come across horizontally again. This actually becomes the eyebrow and the nose of the person. So if you can make that three-dimensional or like a block, you can also do that as well. that's too tricky, don't worry. Now we're going to have a go at drawing the eyes. Now we're going to do one eye here and one eye here, one on either side of the nose. I'm going to start by doing a bit of an arch, almost like a rainbow shape, nice and large. Today we're colouring in with pastels, and so if we create really small sections, pastels are really difficult when creating detail, so we want to keep everything really quite large. So now you just need to redo this sort of arch shape, but upside down like this. If that's too tricky to do, you might even choose to turn your page the other way around and do another arch. So you can sort of see our face is taking shape already. So when it comes to the lips, we're going to create a really simple shape as well. We're actually going to repeat this same sort of arched football shape down here and just draw a line in the middle. That's going to become the mouth. Now, all you need to do for the neck is just 2 straight lines. We're just going to do shoulders that come out like that. So this is our very basic sort of information that we're going to add to. I'd like you now to outline with a nice thick black texture or marker. We want the lines to be fairly bold. We really want them to stand out. Don't forget, you cannot rub out a texture. So do this part carefully. Try to go over your grey lead lines as well as perfectly as you can so that you don't have to go back and rub them out. We don't really want to see them. Now I would do this task with anyone probably over the age of 6. Obviously the older the student or the child or even the adult, the more detail and neatness that's going to be applied. But students as young as 6 probably, I think, are able to tackle something like this. Now, we're not done yet. What we want to do is now section our work into little groups so that we can colour them in sections. I'll show you what I mean. Remember, this task is abstract. So if it's looking a little bit weird, that's okay. It's meant to. So I'm actually just going to continue to bring this line from the nose down. Notice when I'm doing that, I'm creating separate sections. So you can do this in any sort of way you like, just sort of building on the shapes that we've already drawn. And I'm just sort of creating extra sections, just like the artist we're looking at used to sort of section her work, making it more bold, more bright, more abstract. All right, you can choose to draw some shapes if you want here. I might draw a circle. Now, I'm not doing this for you to necessarily copy me. This is just to really give you an idea of what the style is. So in this section where we're adding details, this is your opportunity to do something a little bit different to what I'm doing. So the aim though is just to sort of create different sections within our artwork. That doesn't really make sense to you yet. Maybe just keep watching so you can sort of see the point and where I'm going with it. So my lines are really simple, but I'm sort of just making my space interesting. When it comes to the background, you might choose to do something different as well. I might choose to just do some wobbly lines to create sections like this. Remember, it's an abstract artwork, but that doesn't mean we're working messy. I'm working quite neatly with my drawing. And we don't need to add a lot of detail, but just making our artwork that little bit interesting and that little bit different to the person next to you. Okay, that's probably enough. So I don't need my black texture anymore. All I need now are my oil pastels. Now today I'm working with portfolio pastels, these ones here. I get them from a place called Zart Art, and below I've popped a link in the description so that you can grab yourselves a packet of these. You don't have to use portfolio pastels like I am, but I just really suggest that you invest in these, especially if you really like working with pastels. You won't regret it. They are fantastic in their quality and their pigment, and I just love them. So now what we're going to do is colour each of the sections. Now, we don't have to just stick with one colour or just with a flat colour. Today, have a go with pattern and maybe even with blending colours. I'll show you what I mean. Now I'm going to start with blue. Now, obviously people don't normally have blue faces, but we are working with abstract today. So it doesn't matter what colours you use, the brighter, the crazier, the better. So I'm going to just colour the bottom section of this face here in blue, and try not to colour over your texture here because we want that to stand out. All right, so now I'm just going to swap colours, and I'm going to try and blend these colours just by colouring slightly over the top of this second colour. So I'm colouring the white over the blue a little bit. And then now I'm going to get this blue and bring the blue up to the white. And in doing that, the colours are merging. This is just a really fun technique when using pastels. In no way do you have to do it, but you can see that the effect looks really lovely. And so I might colour up to about here with the white, and then I'll do it with another colour up here. So maybe you can tell now why it's important not to do lots of detail. I'm having a bit of trouble even in these sort of sections to colour in neatly. So anything with finer detail would be almost impossible to keep neat with pastels because they're so thick. But you can sort of see it's coming together. I'm doing a little bit of blending here and there, mixing up my colours, keeping them really bright and vibrant, and really trying to do a different colour for each of the sections I've created. Do your hands look like this? Ugh. That's why I'm not allowed nice clothes. Because all of my work clothes just end up with pastel or paint or just clay, something all over it. So the second I buy a new jacket, it's the second I get paint all over it. So some other art teachers may relate. Now, at the moment I am just colouring in fairly simply, but it's not over once you're all coloured in. So stay tuned because there is another step once everything's coloured in. There we go. So the colouring section is done. That probably took me close to an hour. So if you prefer to just work maybe with an A4 piece of paper, it would obviously be a bit quicker because we're not done yet. Now, remember, Sandra Silberzweig wasn't just awesome with colour. She also added patterns. So that's what we're going to do now. Our artwork looks fantastic the way it is, but I think adding patterns will just bring it up to the next level. So the type of patterns you may choose to use are things like stripes, using lines. You could use spots. You could use different shapes like triangles altogether. So I'm going to have a go at using these different types of things. Now, it is really important that you consider the colours that you're using on top of each other. For example, if I were to try to use yellow on top of a really dark or bright color like red, it's not gonna work. You see? Can't even see it. So you need to make your color selection really carefully. It's a better idea to use sort of dark colors on light sections. And if you've got some dark sections, opaque colors like these ones are gonna stand out really well. Here we go. Be careful. This is a chance for you to be really creative. So I wouldn't expect that you copy what I'm doing. I'm just sort of using my creativity to think of some patterns I can add. So this is your chance to have a go as well and do something a little bit different. Now you do not need to add a pattern to every single section. It's just not necessary, but if you can try to just have a think of different ways to show pattern, that's not a good color. In a few different sections, it'll just bring your artwork to the next level. So I think I will stop there and finish up with my beautiful Sandra Silberzweig inspired, abstract, patterned, colourful portrait. Now, a trick of the trade, once you're completely finished, because oil pastels are messy and they tend to sort of smudge and things like that, what I suggest is sort of fixing it in place with some hairspray. There is artist fixative that is available, and some art teachers may have something like that. But if you're just working from home and you don't have anything professional, hairspray actually works really, really well. So just spray it over the top once you're done. We go, and it will just set the colours in place so that they don't smudge as much. So it's as simple as that. Did you enjoy the task today? Please let me know if you did in the comments below, and I'd love to see photos if you would love to take a photo and then send it to me at artlife.melb on Instagram. It's a fantastic way for me to see what you're doing in your art room or at home. Now this task is perfect for children and adults, but I do suggest that you probably be at least 7 or 8 to be able to tackle something of this skill level. Well done at having a go today, and I hope that you've really enjoyed this arty activity with me. See you next time.